My name is Omar Lutfi, and I am a silent vegan. Let's start by reviewing my exercise routine. I like to get in an average of 50 hours a week of solid cardio with moderate muscle toning thrown in for good measure. To help keep me motivated, I've incorporated my workout in with my employment, so that way, if I don't keep up with my routine, there are some rather immediate economic consequences. As a more optional form of exercise, I am a fair weather, adequate bicycle rider. In the past year, I've ridden about 500 miles. A few more details here. I'm 46 years old, 5'10", and 180 pounds. Ideally, I'm trying to get down to 170, but overall I'm in a good place. I suppose I should start out with my definition of my ideal diet. I strive to eat the least processed foods possible. I know, that sounds crazy. So the top of the list includes the usual suspects of water, fruits, vegetables, beans, and whole grains. The next level includes refined foods like sugar and oils, which I view as occasional treats. Finally, I avoid all meat, fish, and dairy. I really don't like the term vegan. It sounds too much like pagan. Plant-based whole foods is a little bit better, but it has too many words. I hope someone can come up with a better name for this in the future. I want to emphasize that I'm just a guy who's trying to make good choices and enjoy my life. To help understand this, I've made a list of my priorities that I hope will shed some perspective on my choices. I have to physically be able to get to work every day for the next 15 years. While my current employer is quite generous with my compensation package, things go downhill quickly in a lot of ways if my body stops functioning correctly. Every extra pound in my midsection is an extra force exerted on my knees. I work with people much younger than me who have had hip replacements. I know drivers who are forced to retire because they couldn't pass their DOT physical. I started researching how weight affects your body, but I stopped because I think everyone can agree that not being overweight is a good thing. Point number 2 is the connection between refined sugar consumption and rates of obesity over the past century. I look at this and it seems pretty clear that the two are connected. Now this is where people like to argue. Here is another chart saying that sugar consumption has gone down in recent years. Which one is correct? Yes, we could go down the rabbit hole about which one is right, but since this is my video, we're going to jump right over it. If you are obese and eating your own body weight in refined sugar every year and don't think the two are related, well, I don't know anything I can say to change your mind. So this is mostly about me. If my body is functioning optimally, then I'm happy. In a related point, here are some other listed benefits of the diet. Lower blood pressure, keeps your heart healthy, may prevent type 2 diabetes, help you lose weight, may make you live longer, decrease risk of cancer, improve your cholesterol, reduce your risk of stroke, and it can keep your brain strong. The next point is the environmental cost of producing meat. Spoiler alert, it's quite high. Cows are worse for the planet than cars. I also came across a site from Bloomberg showing how the land in the continental US is used. I was quite surprised about how much land we use for growing meat. This is not good for the planet. And I especially like to compare it to this chart. This part shows how much food we eat, which I think is kind of surprisingly small. And this part shows how much we use for livestock. So It's an interesting page, and it's from Bloomberg, which I think is a pretty neutral source. Not sure I like how it scrolls back and forth, but it's interesting to see what we use our land for. Finally, I want to touch on the issue of animal cruelty. This is by far the least important influences in my diet choices. Personally, I'm not a fan of wearing leather clothes, but I'm sure if I could find a few animal products in my closet if I look close enough. I wouldn't say that I'm anti-PETA, but some of the YouTube channels I watch seem to emphasize this angle much more than I feel is needed. If we just stopped breeding animals to eat just because it would be hugely beneficial for the environment, I'd be okay with that. Lately, I feel like the world is spinning totally out of control, but I still get to choose what I shove in my mouth hole. Thank you for watching.